I think we all know that different products or services of different quality will have different price points, and the less expensive products generally don't last as long as the higher quality and cost products. And similarly, taking good care of a component, spending money on maintenance, regularly leads to a longer service life. So the question is, when does spending money actually save you money? Here in this section of our Components Deep Dive webinar, we look at how to make a wise decision about choosing quality versus cost, and how you can measure if it's a good decision to spend money maintaining an asset at your association. As a spoiler, we'll show you that it's not always a wise choice to take the lowest immediate cost option. Some of those can cost your association more money in the long run. Follow along as we show you how it's done. Now it's time to turn the page here and talk about a whole idea of how do we actually start making decisions about this, how to balance quality versus cost. And I want to show you a simple component list that should look familiar to you. In idea, it's a description of the project, it's the useful life, the UL, the remaining useful life, RUL, and the current replacement cost. Pretty simple, straightforward component list. I'm going to do one more thing to it. I'm going to add one more column to it, and it's the deterioration. And notice how we've got a little more information here. The deterioration is the cost per year. It's easy to see the numbers, perhaps on the pool resurface, $10,000 cost over 10 years is $1,000 per year, or a $50,000 project over 10 years is $5,000 per year. The idea is these are your components. They are all, as Sean talked about a moment ago, with that roof project deteriorating at a certain rate. And it's a combination of the cost and the useful life. How long is it going to last? How much does it cost to replace? But at this point in time, these components are all deteriorating at the rate of $20,170 per year.
And thank you, Robert. And this is what reserve funding offsets specifically. Your ongoing reserve transfers are paying a current cost, not a future cost, which is a common pushback about reserve funding. Your reserve contributions are simply offsetting this ongoing cost. And we know that our clients are very sensitive to our reserve funding recommendations, but the cost of deterioration is what needs to be offset by your reserve funding. If you fall below this offset, then you're going to have to catch up, ramp up funding even sharper in the years to come. So, you have to keep pace with this. This cost is largely driven by Mother Nature and Father Time. Again, they're not going to rest on you, so you really can't take your foot off the pedal. It's better to start funding at the appropriate levels with nominal annual increases rather than waiting and have to make even tougher decisions in the near future. I'd also like to point out on this chart that oftentimes biggest project cost is not the most significant. You'll notice that the roof at $80,000 is less significant than your building repainting at $50,000. And again, it comes down to that useful life. The building repaintings coming up more often. And to the next slide, this is really interesting. This is a great asphalt life expectancy sort of scenario laid out here. The red line shows, the remaining useful life of the asphalt. And you'll notice that the first few years, the halfway point of its life, things are relatively smooth. It's a very gradual decline. And then not long after, it's a sharp nosedive. And the green lines, though, show a different route, sort of basically an extension of the useful life by implementing sealing projects. And you can change the curve drastically and extend the useful life. And this is really important for a lot of communities because a lot of communities, their most significant asset are the asphalt roads. And to visualize this on a single line item chart, we have asphalt here, and the question is to maintain or not to maintain. We have a 15-year life cycle at $250,000. The cost of deterioration is basically $16,700. Now, if we choose to maintain the asphalt, we're adding an additional project and an additional $14,000 expense up front. You'll notice something magical happens. The deterioration cost actually goes down per year. Why is this? Again, it pertains to that useful life. It went from 15 years in the prior slide now to 20 years. Robert, if you jump back to the prior slide really quickly, you'll see here with that 15-year life, we're really just leaving the asphalt exposed to the elements and Mother Nature. We're not touching it, and it's going to suffer, and it's going to reach a very short useful life. And unfortunately, it's actually by not spending money, by not actually taking on an additional project, it's more expensive. Even the 5 years of useful life doesn't sound like a whole lot, but it's actually cheaper to invest in the resealing. And at the same time, the roads are going to look a lot nicer. This is the more beautiful, less expensive option on the table. So it's definitely a wise investment. And the same is true for a lot of projects. Your wood and metal surfaces on the exteriors, they are very vulnerable to weather elements. So the repainting and resealing of the exteriors is crucial to prevent high repair costs, to extend the useful life of siding, which is critical. Decking sealing prevents water intrusion that can cause structural damage. So ignoring $1,000 per deck resealing project could result in a $10,000 or $20,000 per deck reconstruction. Mechanical equipment preventive maintenance, along with gates, vehicle gates. Taking the time to invest in preventive maintenance on the vehicle gate hinges is really critical. You can double their useful lives. Outdoor furniture, a lot of our clients are able to refurbish them and restrap them rather than replacing them every few years. If you have a lot of hallway carpeting, ongoing shampooing, and cleaning is a great investment. If your carpeting consists of carpet tiles, investing in a surplus supply of carpet tiles enable you to really extend the life by swapping out just the trouble areas. So the list goes on, and the savings for each and every individual project by extending useful lives adds up to a significant savings, and it's truly the best way to run your community. From our point of view, when we are working with a new community, new construction especially, we are presuming that the board will be taking on the preventive maintenance project. So our asphalt reconstruction every 20 to 30 years, depending on the climate, that is based on the assumption that the asphalt will be resealed or reslurried or rejuvenated every 4 to 7 years. The wood siding useful life is based on the presumption that it'll be repainted every 4 to 6 years. Exterior decking, we are assuming that, and these will all be additional line items on your reserve study, that the ceiling will be completed. And also, in some situations, the operating budget will reinforce the reserve planning with the annual maintenance that you aren't handling from reserves. For example, gutter cleaning or roofing or decking cleaning, like clearing out those drain lines and so forth, or hydrojetting the drain lines. These maintenance projects that are being handled from the operating budget are also benefiting the reserve budget by extending some of the useful lives found on that report.
At Association Reserves, we make the present less stressful and the future more secure. If you want to join us in this mission, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Leave a comment down below on what you'd like to see us address in a future video. Let's plan for your best future.